Heading to McKay's in Nashville. Let's get it.
Because I've kept
Catching up on the community. Shout out 22. Home of Meow Mix. Meow, meow. Here's where the real trip begins, Nashville. Stopping at Buc-ee's to refuel. I hate this place. I really do. Everybody north of Birmingham in Alabama comes here. It's just awful. Screaming kids everywhere. Families everywhere. It's hard to breathe, but you know what? The brisket sandwich is hard to beat. So, go refuel. That was awful. That was like the 7th circle of hell. Somebody needed a shower in line at the cash register. All of Alabama was there. I'd say some of Tennessee was there too. Holy mother of God. But we did get the super brisket sandwich. Got some water. And we're headed straight to Nashville now. To McKay's. To Dollar Bin. Take my sweet ass time. I don't have to worry about friends, family, nobody to wait on me at McKay's. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be about an hour and a half trip. Let's get out of Buc-ee's, which is known as the 7th circle of hell in Alabama. Shout out to the FOMO squad. Keeping me busy. I'm almost at McKay's. Touchdown at McKay's. Looking for Sandman, Demon Volume 1, Lobo appearances. Things of that nature. Ain't got no kids. Ain't got no time to be at home back in Alabama today. McKay's usually is known for chaotic, unorganized comic books, so this is the perfect day to just come out here. Nobody's to wait on me to leave and go to another location. Just me and these comic books. Woo! I did it. 2.5 hours with like 12 sections, roughly 6 short boxes a section. Let me say over 2,000 comic books in about 2.5 hours. Not a bad pace. My joints don't completely hate me. My back's pretty stiff though. I was sitting on the ground on tile for 2.5 hours. I was battling my ADD in there. I was over halfway done and ready to go, but this being a 2 hour trip just to go here, just to look at what they got, I stuck it out and pulled it off. Got some books. You know, was it worth? You know, if you think about it financially, was my haul worth the gas and the time and the effort to come up here? Probably not. But I just came up here with no agenda. Definitely had a battle plan. I always have a battle plan when I hunt. I'm definitely flexible with that battle plan. And I really just came up here to escape, get out of the routine I'm in right now. I put in some vacation today, so I'm not having to work tonight. And just a really just cool way to spend my first day on vacation. And tomorrow I'm going to Louisville. I've seen everything Nashville has to offer. I come here once or twice a year. I haven't been to McKay's in probably 2 years, so that's why I decided to just come to McKay's today. But you know, I've been to both Great Escape locations in Nashville. I've been to Rick's Comic City, you know, in Nashville a couple times a year. This routinely going to Nashville has been going on for like 10 or 15 years now. And I just feel like I have everything memorized in those stores. You know, I'm not going there monthly, or weekly, but I'm definitely going there enough to where I catch myself remembering what's in stock at these stores. So, not interested in going over there. Going to Louisville tomorrow. Never been to Louisville. Googled Louisville. They got several comic stores, nerd stores, whatever, in Louisville, Kentucky. It's going to be about a 4.5 hour drive to me, so comparable to my drive to Atlanta, Georgia. So I can definitely pull that off if I leave early enough and make enough time for it. I spent $7.90, including I got a Rocket Raccoon Hot Wheel for Little Man. So there's that. And I think this will do it for the video. Probably do some camera magic, a little jump cut. You'll see me when I get back home in the Closet of Doom, and I'll go over what I scored today.
Start dancing, metalhead.
Here goes.
What's going on, guys? Bottom tier collector here, back in the Closet of Doom. Floating head video, but I do have some stuff to show. I spent a grand total, including the Rocket Raccoon Hot Wheels that made me think of Little Man, a grand total of $7.90. I spent about 2.5 hours running the gauntlet that is McKay's comic book section. Went through the organized labeled section pretty quick because, you know, I have a strategy. I know what I'm looking for. I've been looking for it for years. It's in my head, and I have CLZ if I just need a refresher on things. So, found one book in the organized section, nothing else, and then I spent the rest of my time sitting on tile, changing positions, my back getting stiff, my joints getting stiff, needing to stand up and stretch, that whole deal, through, I want to say 12 or 13 sections of like 6 long boxes a piece. So if you do the math and figure up how many comic books are in a short box, thank God they were all short boxes, no long boxes. You could say close to 2,000 comic books, maybe over 2,000 comic books. I flipped through in about 2.5 hours, went pretty fast, and stayed on task. I didn't necessarily stay hyper focused. I allowed myself, I spent $7.90. I didn't pick up a lot of comic books, but it was just either books I couldn't walk out of McKay's without in my hand, or stuff I needed for the collection. So first up, part of a side run, I'm just casually, as I see it in a bargain bin kind of hunt kind of thing, picked up the Judge Dredd #4. So now I believe this gives me the first 4 issues of DC's Judge Dredd. I don't really know what I'm doing with Judge Dredd. I'm planning on giving away the IDW stuff I have. But for some reason, I'm just collecting that DC Judge Dredd run. I like the character, haven't fallen out of love with him. I guess with the comic books, it's just not something I have to have in the collection. Next up was a book I could not pass. It's not the first appearance. I was hoping it was, but it's not. This is a big nostalgia buy, and for 50 cents, I could not walk out of the store without this. This is volume 3 from Oni Press, Biker Mice from Mars. It is cover A, so that's another bonus. Although it's such a small series, I would probably cover collect Biker Mice from Mars if I really actually dove into it. Next up, the next 4 issues I have are a Lobo appearance issues to fit into my Lobo appearance history collection. Could not tell you. I'm somewhere around 50 issues away from once again being caught up with the appearance history. I am just deciding to complete the first 40 years of Lobo's appearances. I have the entire list in the Fragpendium. I'm not doing it book for book like the creator of the Fragpendium did, because he does every single variant, every single, for instance, he's in There's like 26 variants, I would say, maybe more than 26 variants of like Dark Knight's Death Metal #1. And because Lobo is in Dark Knight's Death Metal #1, he's got all 30 freaking issues listed on the list, and I'm not doing that. When it comes to the appearance history, I either want cover A or the variant Lobo is in the cover. That's just kind of my rule to make it a little cheaper. However, sidetrack. This is Young Justice 41. I'm ready to not get rid, that's the wrong terminology. I'm ready to be done with the Young Justice era. I don't care about Young Justice. I have read some of it. I mean, it's not bad. I would definitely let my kid read it, get my kid into it. I'm not hating on Young Justice. If you're a Young Justice, there's Slobo on the cover, Little Lobo. Not hating on the series. It's got a lot of praise from Young Justice Teen Titans fans, just not for me. It's part of the appearance history. And if I'm going to say I own the appearance history of Lobo, I got to pick up Young Justice. This one has been a thorn in my side, a pesky thorn in my side. I was buying this series as it was on shelves. And this is one of my problems with the store that used to be my LCS for New Comic Book Day books. They do not give you cover A all the time. It's kind of a crapshoot. And me, somebody that's A-type, very particular about the covers he wants, especially when it comes to Lobo. If Lobo's not on the variant cover and I'm buying it because Lobo's in it, then I want cover A, period. And then that goes for every other series. I just don't really do variants unless Lobo's on the cover. I want cover A. And so at the time this run came out, this particular issue, I only had the variant and I got rid of it because Lobo wasn't on the cover. And so for years, I've been hunting down cover A of this issue, and I finally freaking have it. I can put this series to bed. I'm not going to do a completed run video on this because it's just a 6-issue miniseries, but Justice League versus Suicide Squad #3. Finally have cover A. Sat on it, found it for 50 cents. And now I can put that series to bed in the Lobo Appearance History collection. Next up, I just kind of grabbed this, just a random grab for 50 cents, an oversized giant-sized Wolverine. Why would I not pick it up? Giant-sized Wolverine. A little one-shot there. 50 cents. Why not? Might be a fun little read. And then next up, this is part of... The long-term goal is to have every Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine issue. I don't know if all of it is canon, but I know the Weapon X arc really plays a lot into the origin of Wolverine prior to the Origins runs. This was pretty much the origin we got. So for $1.50, I picked up Weapon X number 79. And I think this is the big cover that's kind of pricey. Obviously, 72 is like considered the origin of Wolverine, or like a partial origin of Wolverine. But this is like, I think this one is the second big book that you'll see sometimes for like $10 if it's like in near mint, depending on the store you go to. So to find it for $1.50 is nice. Another of the Weapon X arcs books out of the way. And then for 25 smackaroos, I've held this book in my hand plenty of times. I'm not really attached to the character. I think she's cool. I think she has a lot to offer. I'm glad she exists, but just not my cup of tea. I'm not really into the Bat family like I used to be. However, just for 25 cents, first appearance of Kate Kane. Why would you walk away from that book? I kept looking for first appearance of Batwoman. That issue is also in that 52 series, but wasn't in there. And that is my haul from McKay's. If you think about all the legwork I did today, all the digging, I don't know if it was worth the trip, but honestly, I think the objective the mission was completed. I just was wanting to go out by myself, no kids, no friends waiting to go to another store. Just go to McKay's. They have a fairly chaotic, unorganized bargain bin section. And I was like, you know what? I got all day. It's 2 hours to Nashville. Why don't I just go to McKay's and run the gauntlet? And I did in about 2.5 hours. So I take a shot every time I say 2.5 hours. But so overall, mission accomplished. But from a financial standpoint, spent way more money on gas and food than I did the comics. So if you're a comic vendor, I guess you'd look at that as a bust. And this brings me to a thought. I'm going to jump cut here. So if you want to leave, go ahead. But I'm going to jump cut and kind of just diatribe, kind of maybe a state of the union, if you will, about my collecting, just my thoughts on my experience in the hobby right now. All right, so if you came back, if you're down with the BS, I'm going to BS. I'm going to just roll off the dome. This may seem kind of negative, but I don't mean for it to be negative. I'm not out of love with the hobby. I have put the hobby down for monetary reasons. Just kind of where I'm at in life. However, every now and then I might, just go pick up some comics. And, today being one of those days. But I'm just noticing, and I talked about this with a buddy of mine on my way back from Nashville. The hunt isn't really the hunt anymore. And there are several factors to that, especially in my experience, where I'm at in collecting. I've been in the hobby for 12 years. I've knocked out some huge goals. I completed the 70 issue run of Legion. I'm within 50 issues of having Lobo's entire appearance history. I completed volume 2 of Wolverine. In fact, to add on to that, I have the first 7 or 6 volumes of Wolverine complete. I'm 20-ish issues away, maybe less than 20 issues of having Wolverine Volume 7 complete, and then I can chase down Volume 8 and get back to where I can say I have every volume of Wolverine complete, which is the end goal for that run. I ran the numbers. I need 24 issues of Sandman, and I'm done with that. And I have the big boy books. I have 1, 4, 8, 25. So nothing really stands in my way as far as completing Sandman financially. I need like 3-ish issues, somewhere between 3 and 5 issues to complete Jack Kirby's Demon Volume 1. I need like 3 to 5 issues to complete Demon Volume 3 from the 90s. A big 58 issue run plus 2 annuals, so 60 issue run of Demon Volume 3. And I think I have Mr. Miracle Volume 1 complete. I have Mr. Miracle Volume 2 complete. I have Mr. Miracle Source of Freedom complete. Volume 3, there's like a 7 swords arc that involves Mr. Miracle. I need to complete that. And I'm just casually grabbing that as I go. But I have all these runs complete or very, very near complete. I have the Lobo appearance history very near complete. So, kind of the point of the diatribe is I feel like I'm running into a proximity problem. In my area, I can hit the Deep in Huntsville. I can go to Nashville and hit both Great Escape locations in Nashville. I can hit McKay's. It's a 4-hour drive to Atlanta. I could hit Atlanta scene, Dave's Comics, and I'm not going to name everybody else because I don't remember them. There's like 4 or 5 decent shops in Atlanta. I could hit Sasquatch Comics in Birmingham. And I've been in the hobby for 12 years. And when you're running these stores over and over and over and over again for like 12 years, you see the dollar bins and the bargain bins change. You see what the organized labeled comics that they're trying to price at full retail or markup. You see those books change. And I feel like what I'm hunting is so specific that it's just hard to find anymore. And it's making the hunt, like my buddy said, the hunt is not really the hunt anymore. I'm noticing bargain bins, like there's still long-term hunts that I plan to get into eventually at some point in the future, but I'm just holding off on it because, one, for room, I have no room right now, and two, for monetary reasons. I just don't really want to be amassing a lot of run fillers right now. So I'm just focusing on, these runs where they're big monumental goals. A lot of them are goals that I set 12 years ago, 10, 11, 12 years ago, and I'm trying to get to the finish line once and for all with some of these goals. And that's kind of brought about this trip to Louisville. I'm going to Louisville to see if there's any hope in Louisville to find stuff I need, because I'm just running into this proximity problem where I just know what everybody has. I've seen it for years and years and years. When I go to the deep, I catch myself being like, I've been through this box 6, 7 times. That's how much I've done this before. I've gone through every bargain bin box in the deep at least 2 or 3 times over the last 12 years. I just ran the gauntlet at McKay's. Every time I go to Rick's Comic City, I don't see new stuff that I need. Doesn't mean I think Rick's is a fine shop. It's just for what I collect, what I'm looking for. Rick's doesn't provide that for me. The Great Escape no longer. I completed probably 75% of that big 70-issue Legion run from DC that started in 1989. I completed about 75% of that in Great Escape's dollar bins. I did that run my way. I completed, I don't know, maybe not 50%, but I completed somewhere between 25 and 50% at least of Wolverine Volume 2 in those Great Escape dollar bins. Like those stores have been so good to me. But as I'm just nearing completion, it's just so hard. And I just wonder, this is for you guys that are this isn't a problem I foresee people new to the hobby having, or predominant readers having. This is for you run collectors out there, you old heads who have been in the hobby a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades, 50 years. Somebody in the community's probably been in the comic books for 50 years. I wouldn't doubt it. And I just wonder if you guys run into that problem where you've just run these stores so much that it's just hard to hunt. Well, it's never hard to hunt. The books are always going to be there. It's just hard to bring your kill home kind of thing. And so I'm just hoping that Louisville tomorrow brings some fun, brings some loot home. I'd like to spend more than $7.90 tomorrow in Louisville. I'd like to complete some runs. I'm going to be hyper focused. I'm planning on hitting a lot of stores. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to try and be in Louisville between 10 and 10:30 a.m. and I'm going to try and hit up 4 or 5 stores. So I'm probably not going to be bargain bin hunting a whole lot tomorrow, which leaves me room for like the Demon Volume 1, which I'm hoping to see tomorrow. Sandman Volume 2, I'm hoping to see books tomorrow. I don't know if it's quite discouraging. Like, it's not wanting me to get out of the hobby, but it is frustrating. Like, I just don't know what to do anymore as somebody who I'm not a purist. I've bought a lot of books online. All of my most expensive, most valuable books, except for like a couple of the variants I own, that just, I got lucky that they're high in value now. Most of my most expensive, valuable books have been purchased online. Like, I'm not anti buying books online at all. Maybe half my collection is purchased online. But yeah, I'm just running out of places to go in my region that I can get to and just make a day trip out of. Maybe I need to scooch on over to South Carolina to see what South Carolina has to offer. I don't know if I could get to anywhere decent in South Carolina in a 4-hour trip. Maybe I need to go south of Birmingham and explore Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, Mobile. Mobile would be a bit of a stretch for a day trip. A day trip of 2 to 4 hours is about all I have in me for a day trip. But to get enough time in, or Mississippi, maybe I need to scooch on over to Mississippi and see what Mississippi has to offer comic book wise. I just need to span my horizons. I guess I'm going on this diatribe to bring it up to you. What do you guys do if you have this kind of proximity issue where you just kind of have your stores memorized, you know what they have, you know what they're not going to have, and you're searching for somewhere else that maybe can provide a breath of fresh air for your hunting grounds and offer new books kind of thing. I guess that's where I went with that. I don't know how coherent of a thought I made that, but yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the vlog. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you'll hear from me again sooner rather than later.